Hello, this is Deco. Lycan thought it would be a really cool idea if I did a rotoscope of the famous Eevee dance by cco00oo, or maybe cool, I don't know, on Twitter. And so I thought I'd surprise him by actually making it without telling him for his birthday. And then I went on hiatus. So I finished it up right after my hiatus and it came out really well. One thing about animation, I really wanted to get into it for a while, and especially because it would be great to put some audio and make it a video. But this is a good practice. Rotoscoping is a good practice for animation, especially when you make your own finishing touches and stuff on it. Of course, I do credit the original artists and creators, and you'd be surprised at how difficult it was learning not only the program, but the extra flappies, the extra movements, the differences in characters, such as there's clothes on Lycan, and just kind of visualizing how those clothes or ears or tail or even the colors of the character move within that animation. So it was quite a challenge. I personally am not super into Pokemon. I used to be when I was a kid, yeah, when I played on the Game Boy, but the last Pokemon game I played was Sapphire and Ruby, so you can tell how far along it has been since then. When I was rotoscoping this, I didn't use my usual stroke movements. I tend to make it kind of like a hairy, short strokes to form a shape or line. On rotoscoping, I tried to make it smooth, and using Ctrl-Z a lot. Well, surprisingly, trying to get it right the first time makes it much longer. I've realized at this point that doing it the way that I do makes it a little faster, even if I have to draw over it again, because it is different from the original Eevee, just very slightly. I think maybe that rough sketch would have been better, rough sketch and overline. Since then, I've stopped using Ctrl-Z, unless it was really bad, but you know, animating in-betweens or actually just animating frame by frame is very tedious and very monotonous for many people. I personally like repetition. It's just kind of one of those things like, oh wow, I can do something over and over again and complete something. It's just, I guess, optimistic thinking. A lot of people who do data entry can probably attest to that. But I did enjoy doing this project because every time I finished a frame, I'm like, wow, I did that. Even though it is a rotoscope, even though it is the base of someone else's, or if you've seen my other animation on the other channel, once you get that base, maybe a few key frames, which are the frames that are like the intended movement endpoints, I guess you can say, the in-betweens are a lot easier. There came a point when I wanted to make an anime trailer for my original story that is in the works, but more like I'm just trying to get myself more motivated / more confident in my own drawings. And I know for animating, you don't have to be perfect, especially when you're starting out and just kind of putting your work out there in the world. So you'll see that I'm not being super perfect here. It'll be a little bit rough, adding a little fluff here and there, removing, maybe resizing the ears. But since this was just kind of like a free birthday gift, I thought, rough coloration and rough line work would be okay, especially because it would be used as a sticker in Discord. One thing I failed to notice, or one thing I failed to remember, is that when you make it into a GIF or GIF, whichever you prefer, the colors tend to degrade, and so the gradation of the background made it look like one of those Windows 98 gradations. Makes me sad, but I don't know. I'll probably update it and send it to him again. Another thing I forgot was the moon. The moon was just flipped over, and I was like, oh no. But you know, Lycan really liked the animation. I think it was a massive success in just making him happy. I mean, look at this Eevee dance. The original Eevee dance was super cute, and having like your own character doing the dance would probably make me happy too. I don't know, it's one of those things I do for friends sometimes, just something nice. I know Lycan is Lycan, and Eevee is more like a fox character, but the kimono style tends to kind of be the same, where it's just less snoot, kind of chunky, big eyes, adorable type of thing. You typically don't see a lot of kimono style furries unless you look at maybe Japanese sites like pixiv.net. Be careful though, because you can get a lot of not safe stuff there unless you have your filter on, but even then it's kind of risque and or questionable, so just be careful when you go there. But otherwise, being on Pixiv, I get to see a lot more kimono style art. Sometimes Instagram also shows it, a lot of times x.com also shows it, but that's just where I tend to see more kimono style, or even manga style, Japanese style furries, which have a different feel from Western furries. One thing I really don't like doing, just in general, is coloring. I do not like filling color, even if it is base color. It's not really my thing. I don't know what it is. I think it's like, maybe I'm just used to manga where it's black and white and monochrome with the halftones, but I just like doing the line work, sketching, and those are my favorite parts of drawing. Yeah, something as basic looking as this can be surprisingly difficult. So, the animation came out really well. I am pretty proud of the rotoscope. Lycan was very pleased and happy to the point where he just went crazy in all the servers he's in and sent a bunch of those GIFs. Makes me happy when I make someone else happy. So I recommend working on an animation with the Deco Pro Gen 2. Absolutely. Would I do it again? Maybe. Do I recommend animating? No, it's not for everyone, but if you do it and you complete it, you have this amazing sense of accomplishment. Not many people have the tenacity to complete an animation. And even then, start off small, start off simple. Even bad drawings can make good animations, especially when they're put into a story. Maybe a visual story, maybe a dialogue. You don't have to be the most amazing, polished animation out there in order to get the point across, or a feeling or emotion evoked, or even just being plain silly. So, until next time, please take care of your body, make sure to take breaks, and most importantly, enjoy what you're doing. I'll see you in the next video.